তোর ভালো লাগে? তুই সাদাটা ভালো লাগে, সাদাটা দেখ আরো বেশি ভালো, চোখটা দেখেছিস?
The Indian Women's League is back in action and it's time for an absolute cracker to get us started. So far, the unbeaten East Bengal FC take on Sribhumi FC. Well, live from the East Bengal Ground. Well, quite a big break in between the Indian Women's League, but East Bengal have been in phenomenal form. 6 games played, 6 games won, of course unbeaten, 18 points, top of the table, 25 goals and just the 1 conceded. That's how spectacular they have been, and they're coming back on the back of a very good Kanya Shri Cup as well, where they took on their opponent Sribhumi. They also were in a bit of state league action, and all guns ablaze. The East Bengal lineup, starting with Panthoy, Asha, Orao, Sarita, Somya, Fazila, Resti, Sathi, Himam, the skipper, Anoma and Sulanjana Raul. Lots of options on the bench as well, but the women in form have surely been Fazila, Sulanjana, Somya and Resti, who have got the bulk of the goals so far, of the 25 goals that they have scored in the campaign, including 2 5-0 victories, a 3-0 victory and also a 9-0 victory. So what a fantastic start to the league, of course, for them. And Sribhumi, on the other hand, have had a decent start to the campaign. 6 matches, 3 wins, 3 losses. So basically a 50-50 when it comes to that. And 9 points, sitting in 4th place. But of course, a lot to play for them. Still haven't played the likes of East Bengal. This was one game which was remaining from that first phase. And now in the second phase, they'll be taking on each other a couple of times. So this is how they line up. They've got Monalisha, Chanu, Rimpa, Dang, My Grace, the skipper, Sarin, Sibani, Karishma, Mosumi, Anju, Mamta, and Kamala Devi. Options on the bench as well, including Bala Devi as well. Big names on both sides of the spectrum today. And these two teams have had a healthy competition between them over the years, especially most recently a couple of weeks ago when they played each other in the Kanya Shri Cup, which is the top women's league in Bengal. But that was a 2-1 win to East Bengal, who have carried on their good form from the IWL into the Kanya Shri. Last season, Sribhumi came very close to beating the likes of East Bengal. They held them to a draw 1-1 back on the 5th of April 2025, and before that in the season, East Bengal won 1-0. All the crowds coming in slowly but surely in this historic ground, East Bengal. And there they are, getting ready, wearing white today. as compared to the usual yellow and red, or gold and red as you call it. And as you see usually in the Kolkata Maidan, a couple of vendors as well, and the crowd and spectators have to watch a game with a bit of moody, a bit of snacks, chai as always, any time of the day in Bengal, in Calcutta. There we go. Players take the field, and it's time to resume IWL action. We've been waiting a long time. It's been quite a big break. But now the second phase is where the teams will come alive, where all of them will try to do what East Bengal have been doing, pick up wins on the bounce. If there's anybody who can push them, it can be Sribhumi, but it won't be easy, that's for sure. Sribhumi wearing red with a bit of white, East Bengal with their white strip. It's been really great standard of football in general. Let's take a look at the officials today. Ranjita Devi Tekcham is the referee, assisted by Reshmi Chetri and Roshni Chanu. Pooja S is the fourth official. Beautiful ground. East Bengal in the middle of the Kolkata Maidan. And so many iconic grounds in this part of the city. You've got the big three, East Bengal, Mohun Bagan, Mohammedan Sporting. You've got East Eden Gardens as well. And all the Maidan clubs, where many of these ladies began to play football and now are representing their clubs, representing their countries at the biggest stage. And of course, East Bengal themselves, the women's team, having a fantastic last few years. They're the skippers. Silky Devi leading the side for East Bengal, and Tangmai Grace, who's been in good form, leading the Sribhumi side. So as I was saying, East Bengal having a fantastic few seasons, winning the Kanya Shri, winning the Indian Women's League, and also the SAF Women's Club Championship back in December of 2025, taking home all sorts of silverware. One final chat. Before we go into the action. And we'll be having games every few days in the IWL, so better stay tuned to the Indian Football YouTube channel, where we'll be covering the matches live, get the highlights as well. As the women's football evolution continues in this part of the world and throughout the world, actually. Women's sport in general has gone to soaring heights, and the good news is that it's not going to stop. It's going to just keep getting better and better. The quality of sport, the opportunities, and everything in between. Few seconds remaining before we get underway. Of course, a big resumption for the league in general. It's been quite a bit of a break.
The moment we've been waiting for. Let the countdown begin. 5,
लाइव देखा रहे
4, 3, 2, 1.
So here we go. The Indian Women's League is back, and we're live from the East Bengal ground as East Bengal take on Sribhumi in what is the 7th game of the league for both these sides. East Bengal winning 6 out of 6. They've beaten all other opponents so far in the IWL. And now they face Sribhumi, who they haven't faced yet. And now, to start off with, an opportunity down the left-hand side. Only 30 seconds in. The shot wasn't taken early enough, though, by Fazila Ikwaput. Already in fine form throughout the competition, including scoring 5 goals in a game in that 9-0 win versus Sessa. A woman from Uganda. Uganda just can't be stopped. And almost started off where she left off. And then a counterpart, Resti Nanziri, trying to play that ball through. Also in very good form. Got a Ghanaian at the back as well. Abena Opoku, who holds the defense, and of course the foreigners holding the fort for East Bengal. But the Indian also been fantastic. Cross comes in. Chance to shoot maybe, but clear away. And now Sribhumi can try and move forward, get a few acres up the field. And that's a nice little nutmeg. East Bengal looking in prime form already. Ball comes in. This could be the first goal of the game, and that's offside. Almost the first goal already for Fazila. A big smile from her. She knows that she will get a game, or rather get a chance again in this game. Good cross. It was quite close, but eventually deemed offside. Here comes Sribhumi. Bit of space down the right-hand side. This is a decent run. Opportunity to cross maybe. Asta Morao does well to clear that away before there's any sort of cross inside. And that's how you move up the field. Few renovations as well in the East Bengal ground at the back. As you can see, there's the cross in. It's a tentative one from the defense, but then headed away by Sarita. And now they can break. And the first shot of the game from Sribhumi's point of view. Panthoy Chanu between the sticks, who has been really good. And East Bengal keeping 5 clean sheets out of the 6 games they've played. Just the 1 goal conceded, which is incredible, having scored 25 on the other hand. Absolute domination from them. It was the left-hand side though. Sarita was there, blocked first time, and then she plays it through towards Soumya, who also has been in really good form throughout this league. Spent a bit of time on the ball for a second there, but then couldn't really play it through. But they'll feel a little bit more relieved there, Sribhumi, that they didn't concede in the first minute. That would have been a bit of extra pressure on them. There always is when you face East Bengal in their home ground. Another ball in that is not the best of deliveries. What has really impressed me over the years, having called quite a bit of women's football in India, is the fitness of the women. Speaking of which, here's a bit of a sprint. Sulanjana tries to get the better of Mungli. That goes out of play eventually. Mungli with a good sprint there. Not easy to keep up with Sulanjana, who has been very impressive the youngster. And now basically has a spot in the starting 11 as well. And one of the favourites, of course, of Anthony Sampson Andrews, who's been doing a great job with this East Bengal women's team. Sujata Kar. The opposing coach from Sribhumi's point of view. Bit of possession now for East Bengal. Ashrata Devi, another really experienced campaigner. Fazila is through. Fazila gets the touch. Did the keeper also get a touch on her though? Really good ball across the field there from Ashrata Devi. That's what she can bring to the table. Fazila got there first. That was surely a swipe there from Mona Lisa, but I think the ball was basically away from Fazila already. If it was on target, of course, no chance for Mona Lisa. You've got to be careful. You'd rather just hold your ground there against Fazila because she is so quick. She gets to the ball in a flash. This time she doesn't make the run though, as a disappointed Silky Devi watches on. And Sribhumi have got to just take the sting out of the game. Having played East Bengal, of course, before, many times before actually. Now the ball into space. Easy, as you like there, from Anoma, the Ghanaian centre back. Silky Devi pulls all the strings in the midfield. Just quietly plays those short passes, tracks the runners, and dictates the play in the midfield. Yes, of course, the attackers do their job. That's a foul from Resti. Of course, the attackers do their job, but in the midfield, in the defense, in between the sticks, that's where a lot of the hard work is also taking place. Ball played over the top. Already 93 goals in this competition from all the teams. We'll be seeing 100 very soon. Here comes Sribhumi though, looking to get the first of the game. 4 people in the attack. Brilliant tackle that is. Sathi Debnath sliding down towards her right hand side and making sure that any sort of progress was stopped. It was the right now. To Fazila, who might try to show her pace. She does towards the left hand side. A bit of a double team on her. Put towards the edge of the area. And there was nobody coming except for Sathi. She had a lot of ground to cover. Looking for the ball through there. But Sarita was there. Picks it up nicely. Good flow to this game already in the first few minutes. And flicked away. This time Fazila couldn't get the deft touch that she usually tries to. Falling deep. Fazila with 9 goals so far in the competition. But still not the highest. Pyari Khaka is the highest with 10 goals for Nita FA. Suranjana thought that would be her way, but not to be. And Fazila scoring in most games. Scored versus Garhwal, scored 5 versus Sessa. Scored 1 versus Nita FA, 2 versus Kickstart as well, and 1 versus Gokulam Kerala. So she basically didn't score only in the first game, which was against Sethu. East Bengal, of course, have scored in every game. Now that's given away quite cheaply to Resti. Keeps possession, waits for a run towards the right hand side. There was no. Somya actually came inwards. And patience is the call from Anthony Sampson Andrews, and that's exactly what they do show. East Bengal, they don't rush it too much. Lots of space in behind to run into, and that's exactly what Fazila does. Couldn't get that header away from the defender though. Karishma, who has been really good in the center of the park, can pick up the ball here. This is good stuff from Sribhumi. Takes a shot here, Karishma, but easy pickings for Panthoy. Karishma herself scoring a few goals, including a couple in a losing cause when Sribhumi lost 4-2 to Sethu. Also scored in a losing cause against Nita FA. So she would like to get a goal in one of those winning games. But Sribhumi know that they are one of the few teams who can actually compete with the likes of East Bengal, try to get a few points off of them, try to stop them from getting that 100 or maintaining that 100% record. Comfortable back pass back to Panthoy. Now the ball over the top. Fazila doesn't get there. Good defensive work again from Mugli Saren. Thoy Bisana also with that clearance eventually. East Bengal leading with the 18 points out of 18 so far. Sethu pretty close with 16. But East Bengal do have a game in hand. This is actually that game in hand. Resti making a bit of a run, but the shot was attempted by Somya, and now it could fall kindly. That's good work from Rimpa Haldar. But then one back, it didn't really fall too kindly there for Karishma. Shilki couldn't get it away. And now on the break, Sribhumi do have a bit of space down the left. That's a lovely touch. Rim pass free on the right. Slightly awkward for her. Should win it back. It's a body in between the defender and the ball, but then a bit of a trip up. Solid defending from Asta Morao again. But you can make out that both the teams have had a break, of course, from the IWL, but the match fitness is there. Good Kanya Shri Cup as well. The first round of that for both these teams, specifically East Bengal finishing top of that group. Nothing coming of that one. Another ball over the top. Fazila won't get there. Slightly awkward. Just coming out a little too early there, Mona Lisa. Pounced over her head as well. So as I said, from a Sribhumi point of view, they started off really well in the competition. 4-0 versus Gokulam Kerala, 1-0 versus Sessa. Winning those two, but then losing two on the spin versus Sethu. Another ball down the right hand side. Astam is there, should pick it up. In fact, plays it wide instead of going for that risky pass inwards. So 1-2, lost 2, then 1 versus Garhwal and lost again to Nita FA. But this is a different phase. And of course, if they can get a positive result here, even a point here, they will be really happy with that. And this is the time when there's a bit of a break for East Bengal. Shot is taken towards the first post. Not enough power on that from from Rimpa Haldar, who scored in that first win versus Gokulam Kerala. One good thing for both these teams is that the goals have been scored by quite a few different goal scorers. It's still 0-0 though. I haven't seen the first goal of the second phase of this league yet. And I'm sure we will as the game progresses. Both these teams quite attacking in nature. 38 goals scored between them so far in the competition. Astam lets it go. Almost an absolutely spotless, perfect first 6 games for East Bengal, except for that one goal conceded against Garhwal in a 2-1 win. Of course, can't be picking on any sort of a drawback there, but just imagine had they finished that with 6 wins, 6 clean sheets. It wasn't meant to be, but of course they played every other side apart from Sribhumi, who they will face again. Every team plays each other twice. Convincing champions of the Indian Women's League last season, East Bengal. Another ball over the top. This is slightly aimless because they're keeping the possession well, Sribhumi. But every time they're trying to play it into the channel, it's not really working. I think the passing is the better option as compared to playing it in behind. A bit of a tap and run there from Soumya. Good challenge though. A bit of possession now for East Bengal. And slowly but surely try to get the ball towards Resti and Fazila. Here's Resti. Space on the left. Plays it through. Fazila might get there first. Fazila gets there first, but that's a good save from Mona Lisa. This time she timed the outing to perfection as compared to the other two. Also, it was wider, so Fazila had to take that touch before shooting. Chipped away. That's a great header. Again from Abena, who just quietly does her job at the back. Sarita. Soumya back to Sarita on the overlap. But poor touch from her this time round. Nice cut inside there from Mamta. Oh, Rimpa had a chance to turn, but she didn't get a call. Anju. They still have possession. Mamta puts it through, looking for the turn. Shot is taken. Deflection, and it will be a corner. Here's Mamta. This is the chance for Sribhumi. Mamta with the delivery, going for the header. That's a nice flick away from Resti. Sribhumi still have the ball. This is good pressure from them. Can they make the most of it? That's a poor shot. Just for the sake of it, really. And another good ball through. Just that final third they're lacking. Anju Chanu with the poor pass. Sorry, poor trap there. You can hear the frustration actually from Anthony Andrews. Every time they lose possession, a few cries of come on, or keep the ball, or keep calm. Here's Sulanjana. Oh, sorry, Soumya. They've switched sides there. Here's Asha. Sorry, Thoy Bisana. Nice turn. Sulanjana looking to use her pace, not able to. Member of India's under 20 side as well. This is awkward, but the header back is just about enough from Astam to be collected by Panthoy. And Ashrata Devi almost loses possession. That was neatly done eventually. And now the pass over the top. Fazila flicks it, but Sulanjana was slightly deeper for the pass. Almost halfway through this first half, it's still 0-0. Sribhumi are doing a great job keeping East Bengal at bay, but actually putting them under pressure. Looking for the 1-2 there. The idea was good. And the pass from Resti to Soumya didn't really connect. Not sure what the talking to is from the ref. Of course, many of these players have played for the national side. There is Anthony Samson Andrews. Looking slightly, I won't say stressed, but feeling a bit of the pressure that Sribhumi are putting on them. Here they come again. Keeping their shape nicely. Here's Dangmai Grace. Anju Chanu puts it over, and the header will fall kindly. Another shout there from the coach. Won't want them to lose possession so easily, as they have done so far. Dink over the top there from Asharata, but nobody home. Just taking enough time there on the ball. Mona Lisa, as I said, you've got to run the clock down, take the sting out of the game against East Bengal. They've been so dominant. You break the momentum, and that's how, I don't say you could get the better of them for sure, but you can surely put them under the scanner a bit. Ball towards Rimpa, needs to get the first touch. She doesn't. Well read again by Astam. Good battle between those two. Soumya beautifully gets past Karishma after a very first touch. Silky looks to play the ball towards Soumya, doesn't. Now she goes straight down towards Fazila. Asharata comes, Fazila gets the touch. Bit of a challenge. Not enough on it though. In fact, it was Resti who made that run. Not complaining too much. Yeah, not much of contact, but again, Mona Lisa, does she need to come there? Because her defenders are covering those passes quite well. But she's confident about getting there before. Maybe that is a plan. Now they know they're going to play, but then you can just play a slightly lower line instead of the high line that they're playing against East Bengal, who have really quick runners. Another ball through. That's good stuff by the keeper. So it's that blend of keeping a slightly higher line and the keeper coming out. But it's working so far for Sribhumi. Mowgli. Poor touch there from Rimpa. Should have been better. Of course, this is a derby. Both teams hailing from Calcutta. Awkward one. That'll be a foul. Not too many fouls in the game so far, but that is surely one of them. And Sujata Kar watching on. Very experienced as well. Hoping that Sribhumi can get the better of East Bengal today. Looks like they're going to go direct. Hasharata with her long balls. Decent delivery. Parried away there by Mona Lisa. You've got to try and clear it away now, Sribhumi. And they do well. Not easy under a bit of pressure there. Back towards goal. Oh, that's a nice flick. Fazila gets there eventually. Fazila might just line up a shot here. Into the stands it goes. Well, that's what she'd want. She hasn't had any off the ball in the last, I would say, 10-15 minutes. Shrugs off a couple of defenders. But the shot wasn't on target. She's complaining about a tuck to the shirt, but I don't think it was enough for a free kick. Now ball towards that left channel. A bit of a chip there, but deemed as a foul from Ranjita Devi, who is the referee today. And he's doing a grand job of it. So far the deadlock not broken. And they're not really playing those midfield passes as much. East Bengal just trying to float the ball over, break the lines of defense that Sribhumi have so nicely set up. Silky Devi keeps going through. Turns on the left foot, plays it through. Here's Resti looking for a cutback. Soumya, but Ashalata's there. What a lovely move. Ashalata Devi. Sorry, Mona Lisa getting there in the nick of time. Otherwise, would have been a tap-in for Soumya. But that's better from East Bengal. Once they're playing the short passes, slightly easier to break down Sribhumi. Another dink doesn't work, this time from Anoma. End-to-end stuff. None of the teams are really holding on to possession and slowing things down. Apart from one or two occasions. Another dink. Easy pickings again from Mona Lisa. Waiting for Fasila to come up and then picking it. A bit of a poor touch, and East Bengal get back possession. Half an hour gone, still 0-0, 15 minutes to go. Here's Resti. Plays it through. They read the pass very easily. Resti plays it again towards Sulanjana. Cuts towards her left foot. Doesn't get a shot. Good challenge. And now Sribhumi were looking for that counter. Not to be. Stopped by Sarita, who plays it round the corner to Sulanjana. She was trying to tee up that cross, but took a little too long. Not giving the East Bengal women too much of space to play those passes, and it's working now. But Sarita does well. Chance for a cross herself towards Fazila. Beautifully done, and then the shot is over the top. That was great by Fazila Ikwaput, but this time didn't get enough purchase on the shot. It was a decent ball, but look at that second touch. Sold the dummy to two of the Sribhumi defenders. Both of them left stranded, but the shot not on target. Looks like we have a bit of a cooling break. Of course, deep into the summer, very humid in Kolkata, but slightly overcast today in the sense the sun isn't blaring down on you, but lots of hydration required, lots of fluids will be taken during this cooling break, and I'm sure a few tactics as well, a few pointers from the coaches. And Anthony Andrews speaks to Fazila. So a bit of a breather, and we're back for the last 15 minutes or so. Anoma. That's a nice ball from Soumya, but cleared away.
How much time?
Haven't had too many stoppages so far today.
Additional time.
Looks like there's a bit of an issue there to Mosumi Murmu, but all okay. Resti with the turn into space now. Launches with her left foot. For a second I thought it might have gone towards that top left corner, but it was always moving away. Resti doing really well to get past. That's probably a foul from Fazila. A bit of excess contact there on Mugli. This barges through on that occasion. Slight frustrations creeping in here from East Bengal. They've had a few half chances. They've had a few shots, but nothing really concrete. But they will keep their calm. That's what they need to do. Here Sulanjana. Soumya with the run. She delayed the pass a little too much there. And now that's given away. Fazila. Could be a handball. Not given by the ref.
अरे यार तो दुई राखे ना
Quite a few complaints there, but I don't think it was going to be given. Now is another ball through. Panthai comes for it. And both the keepers have done well whenever they've come forward. They've done just about enough. Maybe we'll see a free-flowing 10 minutes before half-time. It has been a free-flowing game in general, but you get the feeling of urgency slightly, especially from East Bengal, that they want to take a lead into half-time. And that might just open things up for Sribhumi themselves.
আমার ঠিকই আছে
Looks like that was a handball for Rimpa. That was a good chance to just slip through. Getting into good spaces. Chipped over the top. Fazila almost gets there. Fazila does get there. And whenever she gets there, the ball finds its way into the back of the net. Fazila Ikwaput is back. The IWL is back. And well, East Bengal are ahead. 1-0 to the league leaders. The celebrations were on hold for a few months because of the break in the league, but there was never a doubt Fazila when she gets a chance. Look at that finish. Off the head there of Chanu. But still, to adjust that right foot and put it past the keeper, Fazila gets her 10th of the season. Does the East Bengal number 10. And after quite a few tries, this one was not a forceful shot, just timed it nicely, just placed it. And it fell, I wouldn't say quite kindly, but it fell into a position where she had to slightly adjust. And sometimes those are the ones which you hit with less power, and less power means it just stays on target. It doesn't go over, doesn't go into the keeper. Really good finish. And a tough start to the first half for East Bengal, but now they've finally found their first goal. Another first time ball played in. Oops, that's a bit of a chip. A slip rather from Mona Lisa, who couldn't do much about the goal. But the cross from Astam causing her a few problems. The worst time to concede if you are a Sribhumi player. And they've done so well to keep East Bengal at bay. And they'll be hoping not to concede a second before half-time, because that'll surely be a dampener, as if the first goal wasn't already won. Confirmation, Fazila always is her. Silky holds on to possession. Resti likes to drop into the midfield, especially after they take the lead. Another dink in. Good run there from Sulanjana, but she couldn't get that touch on the ball.
হবে না
And they've scored in every single game, of course, this season. East Bengal, that is their 26th goal in what has been a dominant season. Fazila's 10th. Sulanjana has 5. Soumya also has 5. Resti has scored 4 so far. Ruling the roost. And Sulanjana once again goes for the cross. Well met by Mugli. Five minutes to go, plus a bit of added time as East Bengal look for their second. Mona Lisa knows that there could be a bit of pressure here if the ball is played towards her. Astam will take it. Goes for the Olympico actually. Mona Lisa was scrambling for a second. But hits the outside of the post. Otherwise would have been an absolute beauty. Mosumi was standing there, but she just let the ball go past her rather than standing on the post. Yes, Karishma. Looks for that 1-2, gets it back. Anju with the ball over the top, headed away nicely. And that is a bit of an aimless one, but still causes a bit of problems from Rimpa. Sribhumi still have it. Played wide. This is the opportunity they were looking for. Ball into the area, headed. Good block though. A bit of a touch there from Karishma. And I think it was moving towards goal. Whether it would have beaten the keeper or not too sure. But still a good block. Just getting in between that line of the header and the post. And Fazila has space. Has a lot of space to cut inside. Fazila again doesn't connect with the shot this time round. Could have played it right towards Silky. But you know that she was always going to take that on herself. Just there. Didn't set up or sit up for her properly. Nice ball over the top. Falls towards Fazila, who takes a touch towards the left foot. Fazila again, that's blocked. Good piece of defending there from Thoibisana Chanu, who made a bit of a mistake in that first goal. But I think she's made amends there because that might have been going towards the left of Mona Lisa Devi. What a eventful first half. Really enjoyable, I must say. Entertaining football. That's what the IWL is all about. That's a nice ball. Through. Oh, offside given. That was close. Sivani Devi, who hasn't been too involved in this game, deemed offside. If she was, then it's disappointing from her because she can see the entire line of defense. Either way, it's good pace from her. But she'll have to time the runs better from next time. That's Panthoy. We want to smash it away from goal. Not the best of kicks from her. Straight towards the red shirt. Sribhumi come again. Nice 1-2 there from Karishma. She gets it back. And then puts it through. This is great stuff from Sribhumi. Good cut inside here from Anju Chanu, who will take a shot herself. And it's over the top. I think touched over by Panthoy Chanu. Or maybe it hit the crossbar and went over. But that was a fantastic move from Karishma and Anju Chanu. Oh, the keeper was beaten, I think. Anju Chanu, who has scored a couple of goals already in the campaign. Scored in that 4-0 win versus Gokulam Kerala and the 1-0 win versus Sesa. The 3-0 win versus Garhwal. There are two Anjus in the team. Anju Tamang, who scored 3 goals. Anju Chanu, who scored 2 goals. They've got a majority of them in terms of the goal scorers of Sribhumi. Got to be careful not to lose possession there. East Bengal. Resti has a player behind her. And look at the way she's burst through 3-4 of them. Really strong. But almost got caught off the ball there. got on the ball rather.
2 minutes at a time, ma'am.
Asrata Devi, brilliant performer in Indian women's football. 2 minutes of added time. Silky towards Fazila, who's dropped slightly to get more involved in the play. Ashalata has lost the ball there, unlike her. Dangmai Grace plays it through. There's a runner. Sibani doesn't get the ball, but there's rim pass. Sibani could be free here. They've delayed the pass to her a little too much. She could have continued that run. Now East Bengal have a bit of space if they want to counter. Asta Mora, who's been up and down in this first half, gets stopped. That's good defending by Mamta. Resti. Couple of side steps. She keeps going. Here's Resti. Challenge comes in. Superbly timed. This time from Mugli Saren. The fitness levels are really impressive. And mind you, it's really humid in Kolkata. Even when the sun isn't out, it saps you. Even if you're playing in the evenings. Now the cross comes in. Keeper gets a touch on it. Mona Lisa did well. Lots of players around him. Around her. A couple of them have got hurt as well. Mona Lisa's okay. But it looks like it is Chanu, eventually Ashalata with that ball in. Oh, I think they headed each other there. If the ball wasn't touched by Mona Lisa, it could have been headed in by an East Bengal player. I think Thoy Bisana is the one down from Sribhumi's point of view. Both of them literally in the goal. That's how they've put their bodies on the line here. Both teams doing everything for the 3 points. And hopefully it's not a serious injury. Both the coaches watching on, and of course Shatakar also watching on, who's also been coach of East Bengal. Previously he's also played for them. A bit of ice and hopefully things will be better here. Hopefully no concussion either. Shatakar has got a great playing and managerial record and has done both for East Bengal. Has done a really good job for Sribhumi as well. Last few seconds of this first half, which has been really impressive from both teams' points of view and as a neutral watching on as well. But it's 1-0 at halftime. East Bengal have a slender lead to take into the break. Fazila getting her 10th of the season. Sribhumi having a few chances to progress the ball in that final third, but no real chances apart from that shot recently by Anju Chanu. But it has been a really good game to watch. And at halftime at East Bengal Ground, it's East Bengal 1, Sribhumi FC 0. Time for the highlights as we kickstart the second phase of the Indian Women's League here at the East Bengal Ground. A couple of crosses inside. This was a finish by Fazila, but she was offside before the ball went into the back of the net. That was one chance, and Mona Lisa came out for her once and then twice. The second one was a really good save. Another clip towards Resti, but that was not a foul either. Fazila smashes that one into the stands. Resti with another ball through, but Mona Lisa has had a great game. Another cross inside, which was taken down beautifully by Fazila, but her left-footed strike again over the top. Resti doing well to navigate and take a shot herself, but it was wide. That was a foul there from Fazila, and this is the one which fell towards her. It fell quite kindly eventually, even though I said it didn't, because on the replay you can see that it was just headed by Bisana and it fell onto the right foot of Fazila. Neat finish, 10th of the season, and she's not going to stop. She's got many more of those coming. Fazila cut inside again, took a good shot straight into the hands of Mona Lisa, and this was a chance for Sribhumi. Anju, after a good exchange, took the shot which hit the crossbar and then went over the top. Asha with another ball into the center. Really good, strong hand by Mona Lisa. And at the East Bengal Ground, it's 1-0 to the hosts. East Bengal lead thanks to Fazila's goal in the 37th minute. But I'm sure Sribhumi will try to come back in the second half. We'll slip into a short breather and come back for that. We're back live for the second half of this first IWL game after the restart. East Bengal with a 1-0 lead thanks to Fazila. Another goal for her in this season. Shushmita Lepcha comes on as there's a change for East Bengal. So here we go, Fazila, who has started us off with the first goal of the restart, will restart this game as well in the second half. Soumya makes way for Shushmita. Not sure if she was involved in that collision, but Shushmita will take over from her. Options on the bench for both teams. That's a nice ball through. Fazila cuts inside, chance to shoot, makes it 2!
Side please, side please.
Fazila Ikwaput starts the second half with the second goal of the game. As she cut inside, you knew that she was bound to hit the target. She did exactly that, and the celebration continues.
Count fast.
And now Sribhumi could be staring down the barrel of a defeat. But East Bengal, as always, with a nice and early lead. And once again, Fazila gets the better of Toy Bisana. This time a nutmeg. Mona Lisa maybe could have made the save. It was towards her left. You expect her to make that save. But Fazila, you expect her to score. And she now goes to leading the charts in terms of goal scorers in the IWL. Now what a way to just remove any sort of hopes for Sribhumi. They would have thought that they had a chance. Not to be though. Another ball through. Chance to cross here for Sarita. Bit of a flick on. Almost spilt there by Mona Lisa, but she gets it within her grasp. Bit of a foul there as Rimpa Haldar stays down. That's a nice turn by Resti. Keeps going. She has got fantastic power while running with the ball. Sulanjana tries to cut inside but loses possession. You can hear that Anthony Andrews basically talking his team through the game. Great passion from him. Of course, the players are the ones who have to execute it. Chance for a cross now, should be collected by the keeper. Not the best of passes. You can see that slightly the spirits have dropped for Sribhumi. They would have been pretty positive heading into the second half, even though it was a 1-0 deficit. But now East Bengal are picking them apart. Here's Fazila. The ball was slightly ahead of her from Resti. Bit of an awkward one. Cleared away, will be a corner. Lots of white shirts in the area. This will surely put the game to bed. Ashrata Devi towards the second post. Should be another corner. It was off a red shirt. It goes all the way towards the other side to take the corner. Asharata. Taken short. She should get it back here. Has to stay in an onside position. Doesn't actually. So it's not played there. Cross comes in. And another spill from Mona Lisa. She's got to get these first time, because if you were a striker, you would be thinking every time the ball goes towards her, I just have to go there. And you could just get one out of the spill. Nonetheless, she's doing well on the second time to get the grasp, but you've got to be careful. Sulanjana was pretty close this time round. 5 minutes played. And that'll be a foul. Quite a few fixtures coming thick and fast for East Bengal. We've also got the likes of Setu to come next on the 30th of April. On 3rd May they take on Gokulam Kerala, then kickstart on the 6th. So a couple of days gap in between them. High intensity needs to be maintained. That's a foul. So that's where the fitness comes in. And of course the squad rotation and the tactics. Decent piece of defending there. And Sribhumi will be hoping that they can at least get one back, get something to be positive about. Of course, the first half was positive, but until you see something or you have something to show for it, sometimes you don't really feel too happy with the performance. Looking with the flick there, Shilki Devi not able to. That's nicely done by Sibani Devi, but now Resti will pick it up after Fazila's tackle. Fazila makes the run in, but that's a poor pass towards Astam. And now Sribhumi might have a bit of space if they can get it forward. Resti in the midfield is very tough to get off the ball, that's for sure. Sribhumi finished 3rd in last season's IWL. They got 22 points out of the 14 games, as compared to East Bengal, who got 37 points. So a big difference between them. Gokulam Kerala coming 2nd with 29. Emphatic stuff from East Bengal last time round. Just the 1 loss and 1 draw. Apart from that, 12 wins. And this season, they'd like to better that. They'd like to get 14 out of 14. They'd like to surely remain unbeaten. That will be a big achievement if they can get that done. And that'll be something that they would want to look at eventually, of course. It's about going one game at a time. But once you've got 6 out of 6 or 7 out of 7, you start moving towards that. That's a nice ball. Karishma. That's a good turn from Rimpa. Crosses it. That's a good delivery, but it just held up slightly. Otherwise, Dang My Grace was looking like the favourite. But Panthoy made sure that with that bounce, the ball just slowed up a bit. Looking for that ball through. They've lost possession now. Here's Pantoy. Would love to keep another clean sheet, which would be the 6th of the campaign. Nice turn. Looks for the ball through, not the best of ones. And another flick. So 10 minutes played. East Bengal in cruise control right now, as they have been throughout this league. Who's going to stop them? That was the question we asked throughout last season. The answer was no one. There were a couple of hiccups in the campaign, but that's about it. Fazila almost gets it again. Chance to shoot from a distance, not taken first time. Now it falls towards Astam, who smashes it over the top. And of course, Fazila now well and truly ahead with 11 goals. Last season she got as many as 24. That's well done by Resti. Another ball over the top. That's a beautiful touch through. This is another chance for East Bengal. Oh, the pass was just a feeble one from Sarita Yumnam. What a great run from her, especially that header just to take it away from the defender. That's a good ball too. This is a chance for Sribhumi. Down the right hand side, opportunity to cross. Had to wait slightly for the cross, and then on the rebound, what an opportunity for Dangmai Grace. Just rushed the shot a little too much. Not the best of clearances there by Abena. Chance and a half for Sribhumi. One on either side actually. Brilliant counter-attacking football from Sribhumi. Sarita can't keep that one in play. It's all happening here at East Bengal Ground. But they've got two good chances here, Sribhumi. Not saying that if they scored those, then it wouldn't have still been East Bengal's game, but it's about when you take those chances. If Anju Chanu's goal went in, it's a different narrative. If this one went in 2-1, you never know what could happen after that. Really impressive. The skills on display. The agility that these girls have shown. The stamina as well to run. In this heat, still 30 minutes to go though. Silki Devi plays it through. Fazila with a nice turn. Here's Fazila for number 3. A hat-trick within the hour for Fazila. Game, set, match by the looks of it for East Bengal. And 7 out of 7 for the defending champions. And Fazila applauds the crowd, but it should be us applauding you. because another sensational display from East Bengal's number 10. Look at that turn, look at that power, and then look at that precision. Easy as you like. And she kisses the badge as well. That's what it's all about. Performing for the team, providing for the team, and a hat-trick. Another one in the season for Fazila. She scored 5 in that win versus Sessa. And this is her second hat-trick of the season. She got 2 versus Kickstart. And this one will mean a lot after a bit of a break. A couple of changes on the cards now. For Sribhumi, that is. Renu and Arena are on. Karishma and Dangmai Grace are off. Good game from both of them, especially Karishma today. Moved the ball really well, kept running. Dangmai Grace, of course, had a good chance just now, which she'll be thinking about as she walks off. But she's also one of the top performers for Sribhumi, the skipper. But time and time again, it's Fazila who puts her name on the score sheet, and not only once, but more than once, most of the time. There are the changes confirmed for you. That's nicely done by Rimpa. She keeps going. Plays it through. Really good ball control from her under pressure. Headed away. And a bit of a stoppage here. Hopefully Asharata will be fine. It was her pass that set up Fazila for her first goal. That's the best thing to have as a coach, a striker who's prolific. This was the first goal. Beautiful finish. Just got it away from the defender. Expected that slight mistake. Keeper was up, but she still put it past her. Second goal took on the defender Chanu again, who's had a nightmare against Fazila. Puts it into the bottom right corner. And this one was the best of the lot for me. Shielding, using her body, and then smashing it into the first post, which is not easy on the turn. She was off balance, but still put it through. Beautiful stuff from Fazila. No match for her right now. Here's a chance though for Sribhumi. Great block from Anoma, who didn't realize, I think, that there was someone behind her. Did well to get there and then watches that away. Kartika will be coming on next for East Bengal. Kartika Angamuthu in place of Asharata Devi. Hopefully she is okay to play the next one. She's okay to walk off the field as well from the far side. Will just take a bit of time, I guess, to be fine, but she doesn't need to risk it with 3 goals being the lead. Fazila takes it down. Who has also spent time in Gokulam, Kerala. And also played for the Ugandan team, national team that is. Also had a stint in Gokulam, Kerala back in 2018.
Ma'am.
Afreen looks like she's also coming on.
इनको हटाने के लिए तो नहीं बोल रहे सर.
That's a nice ball from Arena. In fact, no, it doesn't really find a teammate. And Fazila also did play for a Kazakhstan club in the Champions League, Women's Champions League. So she has been there, done it all. Now banging in goals for East Bengal. And Resti has also been really good. Let's not take anything away from the rest of the team. As you can say for Silky Devi as well, beautifully played through there by her. Now Sribhumi have a chance down the left hand side. Strong defensive work there from Anoma to stop Renu in her tracks, who did well to keep the ball after all of that. Here comes Sribhumi once again. Chance to pass it on the edge of the area, didn't really work. Kept in play there by Sarita. And Resti goes for the nutmeg, she does well. Even though she didn't get the meg. Sibhani tries to win it back and does actually. And of course Fazila with an emphatic performance during the SAF Women's Club Championship, where she got the highest goal scorer and that's the golden boot and the golden ball, which is the most valuable player. Here she comes again, right on cue. Could go herself here, tries to get it back. It is back to Fazila, who shoots. Good save for Mona Lisa Devi. Sulanjana could have taken the shot as well, but tried to feed it back towards Fazila. That's a good challenge. Got the ball, should be a corner. That was a good shot from Fazila. Very neat save from Mona Lisa, who has had a tough game but has saved almost everything that's come towards her. Not easy to face the likes of Fazila, of course. Good attempt, but over the top. Just been that sort of a day for Sribhumi. Fazila, who lit up the league last season for Gokulam Kerala. 5 hat-tricks last season, 2 this season. But anyway, should want the silverware. That's the main thing. Here comes Sribhumi, looking to get 1 goal. East Bengal, of course, taking a lot of pride in their clean sheets, that's for sure. No matter how many goals they score, they don't want to concede. That's a shot in. Awkward one. Could have been offside, but eventually the touch was required from Panthoi Chanu. Offside, not called, that means it wasn't. Good touch there from Sarita to take it away. And then cleared away. But that was a scare for East Bengal. Could have conceded their first of the game. Kamala with the ball in. Slight touch there from Renu and it would have been a goal. But Panthoi Chanu with some really good goalkeeping. A bit of a pull back there on Fazila. That's the only way you can stop her.
হবে না।
Sarita with the ball in. Headed away nicely. That's a strong header. Another dink towards the second post. Kept alive, but Mona Lisa with the touch. Quick throw and taken, but nobody in the center. That's a shot. Quite tough to score from that angle, to be honest, and that distance. ...20 minutes to play. Sribhumi have a lot to play for in the sense it's about getting your own rhythm, your own flow. This will be their 4th loss of the campaign. They've got 3 wins. They would love to make it 4-4 after this game when they go next. But they'll carry this momentum. That's why it's still important to get a goal here, to keep attacking and to not concede any more. Flicked on, nobody home. Just running around the clock there, Panthoy Chanu. Next up, they play Garhwal United, do Sribhumi. Then they've got Sethu. Garhwal's on the 30th of April, Sethu on the 3rd of May, 6th of May. They've got Sesa. And then they've got East Bengal again on the 18th of May. That's the end. So they do have to play them again, of course. But the title might be wrapped up by then, from an East Bengal point of view. Oh, that's a good block by Arena, who's been really impressive along with Renu after coming on. Couldn't wrestle away into a bit of possession there though. There's Silky, she keeps running, decides that the ball wasn't going to go too far. So she held on to it, played it backwards. Resty. Slightly tired legs now on display. Good turn. The pass is just a little too heavy for Rimpa from the likes of Renu and Rubina. Cartoon will come on. Also going to be a cooling break as Sulanjana Raul comes off. Hasn't had too many chances today, but a really impressive player for East Bengal. Hasn't scored in this game, but has scored in most of them. And she gets a bit of a breather.
कम्युनिकेशन कहाँ है मेरे भाई? अरे इसे क्या हो गया?
So I think we're going to have the cooling break after this. Here's Fazila, who will run at the players again. In fact, plays it through this time for Rubina, who's just come on. This will be her first touch, does well. Plays it backwards. Lepcha with the ball through. Could fall kindly here for Asta Morao, it does. It's changed a bit of a position ever since Shushmita Lepcha has come on. There's Resti. Sarita just holding on to the ball. Sathi Devnath, who's also been good today. It's been a solid team performance from everybody for East Bengal. And they would love to finish it off with a clean sheet. Only conceded against Garhwal. It's a stellar achievement so far. Fazila wrestled off it this time. Resti loses possession and I think is pulled up slightly. Might be cramping. And she'll get a chance to hydrate now as we move into the cooling break with 15 minutes to play. All too easy so far for East Bengal. Sribhumi have put up as much as a fight as they could have, but it's 3-0 to the defending champs. A bit of hydration and maybe a few tactics, but they've got to keep pushing. First game of the season is always a tough one to move past physically. Yes, they have been playing some of the Calcutta Women's Football League games, or Kanyashri as you call it, games, but nothing like the intensity in the IWL. That's what Coach Anthony Andrews also mentioned in his pre-match, that intensity is different when those two games or leagues are compared, and East Bengal just holding on to that intensity, continuing it rather. And of course, Fazila at the heart of it all. So that's the final stoppage before we head to full time. Last quarter of an hour to play. East Bengal 3-0. Haven't won a game, or rather have won a game 3-0 and 2-1 and 1-0. The 4-0 is yet to come from them. 5-0 a couple of times. 9-0 once. Would love every kind of number possible as long as that 0 is there in the opposition score. Beautifully worked there. Here's Sarita, has a lot of space to cross, doesn't go for it first time. Maybe there wasn't a runner coming early enough. Here's Resti, goes for that nutmeg pass. Nice Cruyff turn from her. Here's Fazila, gets stopped but wasn't a foul. It was a legal tackle. Silky Devi, beautiful turn. That is lovely from her. Keeps going into the space. It falls towards Fazila, who can cross it here. She goes for the shot. Oh, has got to get a cross in there. Did slip slightly as well. But she plays with a smile on her face. That's so important. A few people coming in, watching the games, supporting their side, which is always great to see. And I'm sure as the season goes on, a lot more of the fans will flock in to watch the Boshal girls, as they call them.
19 out 20.
That's a nice pass. Looking for that turn, not getting it. Good ball from Pantai Chanu. Sarita has also been so good moving up and down on this right wing. Fazila has dropped all the way deep. Was going to play a long ball, decides not to. She's enjoying herself now. Oh, that's been lost. Chance now. There's an option down the right hand side. This could be the goal for Sribhumi. It is. They have pulled one back. And East Bengal concede only for the second time this season. And it's Rimpa Haldar who gets the goal for Sribhumi, but it was possession lost in the midfield that cost them. Good finish from an acute angle set up by Arina Devi, who's been really impressive throughout. Well, that ball lost, I think it was by Kartika, in the center proved costly, and Pantoy Chanu will not be happy about that. First goal conceded in 4 matches. Full money, Kharia is on. Sribhumi, could they get a goal here? If they do, then a bit of panic might set in. And Silky is also off. Is that a great time to take off your captain? Chance to shoot here. Oh, that could have been 2 within the space of a minute for Sribhumi. Renu cutting inside, not getting that shot away, but almost. You never know. Nicely done there by Thoibi Sana. Was had a tough time against Fazila, of course. But you've got to keep pushing. That's the toughest you'll face in terms of opponents, in terms of strikers in this league. So she did a good job keeping her quiet until that first goal, and then Fazila basically got the better of her after that. Bit of luck involved as well in that first goal. Bad luck, that is, from Chanu's point of view, but really good stuff from Fazila. Nothing lucky about her finishes. That ball is just over the top, otherwise it could have been another chance for Sribhumi, who are playing really well. East Bengal have just lost the control of the game slightly. Nice ball into space. Good defensive work by Mosumi Murmu. A bit of cramp maybe for Asta Mora, who's also had a really good all-round game. Maybe feeling the strain of running up and down. As I said, first game in the IWL after a big break. Resti looking for that nutmeg pass like she has throughout the game. And that's left alone. Should be an East Bengal throw. Sarita takes it first time. Kartika can't find that pass towards Asta, who held it wide rather than going through. Not the best of passes, and East Bengal of course would just want to close this one out now. Haven't had too many chances in the last few minutes. Can't concede one here, that's for sure, because it will put them under a bit of pressure. As Fazila, who's dropped to the midfield just to take a bit more control of the game. Should want the ball back here again. And she turns well. Still a lot of energy with East Bengal's number 10. Just trying to keep ball. It's always the best thing to do when you have a bit of a lead, and they've lost it though. As I say it, here's Anju. Arena makes the foul and brings down Rubina. Rubina did well actually to just get there ahead of her. Full money with the ball, cleared away.
Light.
And now there is a bit of space down the right for Sribhumi. Played through. Great defensive work from Abena Opoku. Just read the danger really well. That's what good centre backs do. There's Fazila. That's a bit of a short tug. That'll be a yellow card. For Kamala rather. Slightly frustrated. And stopped Asta Mora and then absolutely yanked her back. That was quite the foul. She goes into the book. Panthoy will be disappointed. With the goal that was conceded, not much she could have done either ways, but that's a nice ball through, but as always, Mona Lisa off her line and doing well. Three to play. Oh, they've lost possession there. And then another awkward ball. Can't be playing that ball when the defender's already made the run to track back and the attacker hasn't really made that run. They'd rather just hold the ball, play it deeper rather than play it beyond the defender. There is no beyond the defender because she's made the run. So sometimes in possession, Sribhumi forcing their hand at attacking. Yes, I understand there are 3 minutes to go, but sometimes those passes have to be a little bit more thought out. That's a decent turn and played wide. Great stuff by Resti. She couldn't really move forward. She's hurt herself again there, Resti. I think it's that calf of hers. You could see the way she moved slightly awkwardly. Needs to continue though. Good battle between her and Mosumi. Just a couple of minutes to go. Plus a bit of added time. Smashed away. This should be the 3 points in the bag for East Bengal.
Girls, sit down. Keeper, sit down.
Not like it was under any doubt, but of course you never know.
एक तरफ लाइट एक तरफ अंधेरा फोकस आउट हो रहा है कैमरा का और सेंसर में नहीं ले रहा है ऐसे जा रहा है पूरा फोकस आउट हो रहा है
That'll be a throw in. It's been a good game from Shushmita Lepcha since coming on. Not much she could do. That goal went from the left hand side, which is her side, but ball was lost in the midfield. That's why that space opened up. Here comes Sribhumi once again. There was a bit of a tug. The referee couldn't see it. We could on the screen, from the camera rather, angle. That'll go out of play. So lots of action to come in the Indian Women's League over the next month or so. Throughout May. Four minutes as East Bengal look to finish off their 7th win on the trot. Full money couldn't get enough on it. Tries to keep fighting for the ball. Doesn't get it. Oh, that's a bit of a loose touch. Sushmita Lepcha's there. That is really nicely done. Composed stuff from the left back there. Fazila will continue her run. Resti plays it back to Fazila. Has a couple of shots inside if she wants to cross it in. Bit of showboating as well from Fazila. And that's a lovely ball through. If only it was slightly higher and into the space in behind. Another dink over the top. That will be offside, but tidy finish. Smashed away by Mona Lisa Devi, who has had a decent game. And there are positives for Sribhumi. Two more minutes to play. And they lose the ball again. East Bengal have got to be careful moving into the next few games. They can't keep losing possession like this. Sribhumi haven't made them pay as much as they should have. Few white shirts do well to get back. Fazila held on to it a bit, and then a few of the players are struggling with cramp here. As I said, that will happen in the first game. Back after a big break. Just 90 seconds to play. It's got pretty dark here. And the game will continue. And all the action of the Indian Women's League on the Indian Football YouTube channel as East Bengal look to retain their crown. That's a nice pass through. Can they get one back here? One more back rather. Sribhumi. This is a good counter attack. Played wide, should be offside. Looked offside the first time I looked at it, and it was. Renu went pretty deep, or rather it was a good offside trap actually. And that'll be full time. So East Bengal resume their dominance in the Indian Women's League. There might have been a break in action, but there is no break in their winning streak. 7 on the trot. They've beaten every single opponent. Now, this was the one game remaining in that first round. Now they'll play all the other teams again. But it's 3-1 for East Bengal. Sribhumi created quite a few chances. They've got a goal. They were only the second team after Garhwal to score against East Bengal. But Fazila with a hat-trick. Her 7th of her IWL career in the last 2 seasons. Getting the 3 points for East Bengal. Rimpa with the goal for Sribhumi. She'll be happy about that. And overall, it was a good game to watch. Good energy about it as well. But as the sun has set in East Bengal Ground, we'll take a look at the highlights. After a big break, back to the Indian Women's League. As Sribhumi would try to get the better of East Bengal, like many other teams have. They've had the third best result against them eventually. But it started off with a couple of balls into the center. This one for Fazila, just a trailer of things to come. Chalked off because it was offside. That one was close, as Mona Lisa did just about enough. This was a really good save by Mona Lisa. A brilliant battle between those two. Resti almost got a penalty there. Fazila with a shot which was over the top. Resti looked for this cross and she tried to square it to Soumya, but Mona Lisa did well. Another cross which was taken down really well by Fazila. That chop inside was really impressive. Another good shot which was over the top again, and then Fazila smashed that away for her first goal after the break. Her 9th of the campaign and one of 3 which would come. Nothing and no one that can stop her, except herself actually. That was not the best of shots. And that was the best chance of the first half for Sribhumi with Anju. Ashalata with that ball in, tapped away there by Mona Lisa. And in the second half, that was when Fazila started off within the first minute, a nutmeg past Thoibi Sana, and then finishing it past Mona Lisa. 2-0 with Fazila's 11th of the season. That was collected by Mona Lisa. Then a decent ball through Dangma Grace, couldn't get there in time. And this one she did get there, but it was played over the top. Then Fazila's third goal turns past Thoibi Sana and scores an absolute beauty. Another hat-trick for her, second of this IWL campaign. Kissing the badge. And then Rimpa Haldar pulling one back for Sribhumi. This will be a goal she'll remember after she was set up by Arena, who won the ball in the midfield. And Sribhumi finally had something to cheer about. Kamala gets a yellow card there. And that's all from us at full time in the resumption of the Indian Women's League. Fazila's hat-trick keeps East Bengal unbeaten, untouched, and with a 100% record as they win by 3-1 over Sribhumi. Thanks so much for watching and join us again soon for the next match, which will be East Bengal versus Setu. That will be quite an important one in the IWL campaign. So make sure to join us on the Indian Football YouTube channel for that. For now, thanks and goodbye. This is Liam signing off.